In the bustling city of Lagos, there lived a young woman named Ada. She was bright, hardworking, and full of dreams. One day, she saw an advertisement for a job at a big company called Eze Enterprises. Excited by the opportunity, she decided to apply. Ada dressed in her best outfit and headed to the company's tall, shining building. The owner of the company, Chief Eze, was known for being kind and fair. He liked Ada's determination and gave her the job as a secretary. Ada was overjoyed and ready to prove herself. A few days into her new role, she was busy organizing papers and answering calls. She didn't realize that someone was watching her from the corner office. It was Chidi, the CEO of the company and Chief Eze's son. Chidi was impressed by Ada's dedication. She was always on time, worked late without complaining, and treated everyone with respect. Chidi, who was usually busy with meetings and business trips, started finding reasons to be in the office more often. He noticed how Ada smiled when she greeted people, how she focused on her tasks, and how she made the office a better place just by being there. One afternoon, after a long day, Chidi called Ada into his office. Ada was nervous. She had never spoken to the CEO directly before. She knocked on the door and entered. "Good afternoon, sir," Ada said, her voice a little shaky. "Good afternoon, Ada. Please have a seat," Chidi replied with a warm smile. Ada sat down, wondering what this meeting could be about. "I've noticed how hard you've been working," Chidi began. "You've done a great job, and the company is lucky to have you." Ada blushed and thanked him, not expecting such kind words from the CEO himself. "But there's something more I want to talk to you about," Chidi continued, his voice softening. "It's not just your work that I admire, Ada. I've come to realize that I have feelings for you." Ada's eyes widened in surprise. She didn't know what to say. "I've thought long and hard about this," Chidi said, "and I want you to know that I'm serious. Ada, will you marry me?" Ada sat there, stunned. She never imagined that the CEO, a man as important and powerful as Chidi, would propose to her. Her heart raced as she tried to process what was happening. But before she could answer, Chidi leaned forward and said, "I don't need an answer right away. Take your time. Just know that I see something special in you, and I believe we could have a wonderful future together." Ada nodded, still in shock. She left Chidi's office with her mind swirling with thoughts. She had so many questions. What would her family say? Could she really marry someone like Chidi? Would she still be able to work at the company? As she walked home that evening, the city lights twinkled above her, and the sounds of Lagos filled the air. Ada knew her life was about to change, but she didn't know how. She needed time to think about everything. Little did Ada know, this was just the beginning of a story that would take her on an unexpected journey, full of challenges, surprises, and life-changing decisions. The days that followed were a whirlwind of emotions for Ada. She continued to work diligently at Eze Enterprises, but her thoughts were consumed by Chidi's proposal. Every time she glanced at him in the office, her heart fluttered, and she wondered if she was ready for such a life-changing decision. Chidi, on the other hand, was patient. He didn't pressure Ada for an answer, giving her the space she needed. However, his feelings for her only grew stronger each day. He admired her grace under pressure, her kindness toward everyone, and her unwavering dedication to her work. One evening, after another long day at the office, Chidi invited Ada to dinner. It was a quiet, elegant restaurant overlooking the Lagos skyline. Ada hesitated but eventually agreed. She knew she needed to talk to him about the proposal and how it made her feel. At the restaurant, the view was breathtaking. The city lights sparkled below, and the air was filled with the soft hum of the city. Chidi and Ada sat at a corner table, away from the other diners. As they ate, they talked about everything: their childhoods, their dreams, and their fears. Finally, after what felt like hours, Chidi reached across the table and took Ada's hand. "Ada," he said gently, "I know this is a lot to think about, but I want you to know that my feelings for you are real. I see a future with you, a happy one." Ada looked into his eyes, seeing the sincerity there. "Chidi," she began, "I never expected any of this. You're an amazing man, and I'm honored by your proposal. But this is a big decision, and I have so many things to consider. My family, my career, and whether I'm truly ready for this step. Chidi nodded, understanding the weight of her words. I respect that, Ada. I don't want to rush you into anything. Take all the time you need. Just know that my offer stands, and no matter what you decide, I'll always care for you. The conversation lingered in Ada's mind long after the dinner ended. She knew she had to talk to her family, especially her mother, who had always been her guide in life. When Ada finally told her mother about Chidi's proposal, her mother's eyes widened in surprise. My daughter, her mother said, marriage is a serious commitment. You must be sure about the man you choose to spend your life with. But if Chidi is truly a good man who loves you, then maybe this is a blessing. Days turned into weeks, and Ada still hadn't given Chidi her answer. They continued to work together, with Ada trying to keep her emotions in check. She wondered what her life would be like if she married Chidi. Would she still be able to work? Would people treat her differently? And most importantly, was she truly in love with him? Chidi, too, was growing anxious. He had never felt this way about anyone before, and the thought of losing Ada made his heart ache, but he knew he had to let her make the decision on her own. One day, Chidi decided to take a bold step. He invited Ada to a private meeting in his office. When she arrived, she found the room decorated with flowers and candles. On the desk was a small box, and beside it, a letter. Ada, Chidi said, handing her the letter. I wrote this for you. It's everything I've wanted to say but couldn't find the right words. Ada took the letter, her hands trembling slightly. She opened it and began to read. My dearest Ada, from the moment I saw you, I knew you were special. You bring light into my life in ways I never imagined. I know this is a difficult decision for you, but I want you to know that no matter what you choose, I'll always be here for you. I love you, Ada, with all my heart. If you choose to be with me, I promise to support you in everything you do, to stand by your side through every challenge, and to make our life together a beautiful one. But if you decide that this isn't the path for you, I will respect that too. All I want is for you to be happy. Love always, Chidi. Tears welled up in Ada's eyes as she finished reading. She looked at Chidi. He was standing there with hope in his eyes, waiting for her response. But before she could speak, the office door opened, and Chief Eze walked in, surprising them both. He smiled at the scene before him and said, I see my son has made his intentions clear. Ada, you are like a daughter to me already. Whatever you decide, know that you have our support. The room was filled with a mix of emotions, love, hope, and uncertainty. Ada knew she had to make a decision, but in that moment, she still wasn't sure what her answer would be. As the sun set over Lagos, casting a golden glow over the city, Ada stood at the crossroads of her life, her heart filled with curiosity about what the future held. Would she say yes to Chidi's proposal and embark on a new journey with him? Or would she choose a different path? Only time would tell. Ada spent the next few days in deep thought. Chidi's heartfelt letter and his patience touched her deeply, but she still felt the weight of her decision. She sought advice from her close friends and her mother, each offering different perspectives, but ultimately, Ada knew this was a choice she had to make on her own. One evening, as the sun set over Lagos, Ada decided to take a walk along the beach. The gentle sound of the waves and the cool breeze helped clear her mind. She thought about her journey, how she had come to Lagos full of dreams, how she had found a job at Eze Enterprises, and how she had met Chidi. The thought of being with someone who loved her so genuinely made her heart swell with warmth, but there were still questions she needed to answer. Could she truly be happy marrying Chidi? Could she handle the pressures that came with being the wife of a powerful CEO? And most importantly, did she love him enough to take that leap? The next morning, Ada woke up with a sense of clarity. She knew what she needed to do. She dressed in her best outfit, the same one she had worn the day she first came to Eze Enterprises, and made her way to the office. When she arrived, the employees greeted her as usual, but there was a sense of anticipation in the air. Word had spread about Chidi's proposal, and everyone was curious about what Ada would do. Ada walked straight to Chidi's office. She knocked on the door, and when Chidi saw her, he immediately stood up, his heart racing. Ada, he said, his voice filled with hope. Chidi, Ada began, taking a deep breath. I've thought long and hard about your proposal. I've considered everything, my dreams, my family, and my feelings for you, and I've made a decision. Chidi's eyes searched hers, bracing himself for her answer. I've decided. Ada paused, then smiled warmly.